Peace, peace, fam. This is Natural Holistic Vibes here. I'm your host, Ivy, checking in with you with our first episode to give you an introduction to who I am and why I started this podcast. So, I'm Ivy. As you can see, naturalistic vibes. So, I'm all things natural, all things holistic, and I believe in spreading good vibes, high inspirational vibes. That's what I do. So, I wanted to see what I can do to kind of share what I know, my experiences, my resources, tools, what other Gen X, Xennial, Millennials alike, so we can unite, bridge our differences, come together with our similarities, and really start building some really beautiful communities out here. Like I said, naturalistic vibes. So the name came about just really trying to find who I was, right? So, in the beginning of this journey, I started back in, let's say, 2019. So, about 2019, I came to a different expansion of awareness. And in that expansion of awareness, I realized that the life I was living and the job that I was doing, I no longer wanted to do those things. So I started seeking change within myself. I started asking my higher self. At the time, didn't know that's what I was doing, but I started asking my higher self, what is it that Ivy wants to do? What is it that I do? What is it that I bring to this world to help lift the vibration of the world? And over the past, 4 or 5 years, I have reached the pivot. Not so much as a pivot, but I reached the part of my life where I realized I love talking, y'all. I actually enjoy talking, especially when there's information that I can share. There's stuff that I know. And if I don't know, if I know where to guide you, I absolutely love, 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 love that. And I would have to credit a couple other speakers before me who kind of inspired and enlightened me on that this was my path. And so one of the first people I will say is my husband. Upon us meeting, we've been together. What's this, 2014? So we've been together 24 years now. When we met at 18, one of the first things that he said to me when we met was that I had a radio voice. And at the time, I was like, I don't even know what that means, right? What's a radio voice? I had no clue as to what that meant, because when we met, my path at the time was to be an attorney. So everything I was doing had me guided in that space. I was moving in that direction. Didn't get to law school, but ended up with a paralegal degree. Ended up working in the legal field, various different areas of law, along with some other stuff. Um, another person that was inspiring was Alan Watts. Up on me doing some spiritual soul searching, I ran across Alan Watts. Very, very informational. If you guys have never heard of him, very wise. He teaches Buddhism, and up in that teaching, he said one thing that actually stood out to me, and that was that he loved to talk, and so he wanted to figure out a way how to get paid for talking. And I go, wait, I love to talk, right? So let's see what we can do here. Over the years, because I was so lost, you guys, when I said no fucking clue, I had no clue as to starting something like this. But I'm very, very excited. But I'll tell you what I did. Upon my expanded awareness, I began journaling, you guys. I began journaling and writing down all the different things that I enjoy doing, all the different things that I like, different stuff that appealed to me, different things that attracted to me. And up on the last couple years, up on going through all of my notebooks and kind of trying to narrow down what it is that I wanted to do in this space, in this new phase of my journey. podcasts kept popping up literally all through several notebooks, guys. I got like so many notebooks over these years. I've just been a student, and podcasts literally kept it kept appearing in my notebooks. And so last month it just hit me like in the face, bam. It's like, you love to talk, won't you just start a podcast? Now mind y'all, I could have started a YouTube page and all this and wanted to do so, but I ain't know what the hell I was going to talk about. What I'm supposed to talk about? So I stopped at the podcast. I mean, at the YouTube. And I do have a YouTube page. I want you guys to go check it out. It's Natural Holistic Vibes. You can actually find me on all social media platforms except for Twitter. But everywhere else, I'm at Natural Holistic Vibes. So go check me out, follow, subscribe, tell a friend if it's some information that somebody else can take advantage of. Please share, follow, like. Let's all get in this together. But anyway, getting back on point. So I realized, you know what? Let me look into this podcast thing, because again, I like to talk, but I didn't really know, and I'm still learning, you guys, on how to, make this my space and get very comfortable. So I'm sure my first few episodes, you'll probably hear me stumble, you'll probably hear me flip, you'll hear shit in the background. I'm telling you, I'm just going to leave it like that for now. This will allow me to go back and see how I need to edit and, what kind of changes, if any, I want to make. But anyway, so getting back to how I got to podcasting and who I am. Over the past few years, I've done a lot of soul searching, a lot of expansion, a lot of healing. And during those moments of transformation and healing and learning, I like to call, I went into the school of the cosmos. One of the biggest lessons for me was ending up in what I call Planet Mercury. And I'm actually going to create an episode to kind of break that down, what I mean by Planet Mercury, guys. This is just some really cool shit. But after, let me see, about 2020, I landed in Planet Mercury, and where my Mercury placement is, I knew that, I got some work to do. I want to do this podcast, right? And I'm going to do this podcast, but there's work that I need to do when it comes to communicating, verbal, nonverbal, all that good stuff. Because again, all of this stuff builds you to who you are. All of these things, enforce who you are and who you came to be in this construct. And so as somebody who's Gen X, I'm bottom of Gen X, 1979, whoop whoop. And and I realized that not only was I kind of lost in finding out what I wanted to do, but there's a lot of my peers, and I say peers because we all came into this incarnation within the same generation. So you guys are my peers. I realized Gen X, Xennials, Millennials, after actually conversating with quite a few people, we all realized that, man, we kind of got hit with the shit stick, but it's not for us to, sit and blame and allow those traumas to dictate our way of living. Is actually lessons for us to say, okay, how can we step up and be better for not only ourselves, but for our families and for the legacies behind us, right? And so the way to do that is to tap into who you are and know who you are. And the way you know who you are, there's several tools and resources out here, and I'm gonna actually be sharing a lot of that stuff with you guys, because hey, we all here to heal and to lift the vibration of this plane together, and so let's do it, But anyway, so getting back to who I am, I started doing a lot of studying into spirituality, occult, mysticism, a lot of the hidden gnosis, and really tapping into what that information meant for me and my story, not what it's subscribed to be out here in the streets, but what does it mean to me? Like when people talk about moon phases, what does that actually mean to me, not what somebody else is telling me. So I had to do some studying, and in that, and I come from a Christian background, okay? So with doing this studying, of course, this meant that I had to break down a lot of ideas and programs that I had been indoctrinated in, not by choice. Some of this stuff, we like to tend to say, my mom forced me to do this and blah, 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 blah. But some of this energy, you just got residue from previous incarnations. And so, yeah, you're going to come in and move a certain way, do certain things, be interested in certain things. Why? Because you're bringing energy from previous incarnations that will actually help you in this life cycle, or it's energy you need to purge, right? Because it's no longer needed going forward in the rest of your journey. And so tapping into a lot of occult gnosis and a lot of metaphysical gnosis, and really becoming the true scientist, from my own story and from my life, that has really, 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 really changed who I am as a person, as a being. It has really allowed me to step up into who I am. It has allowed me to be strong in who I am, be strong in my knowing, not fold in none of the gnosis and the information that's for me. What's for me is for me, right? Just like what's for you is for you. So, but anyway, so yeah, I realized, hey, these are things I don't want to subscribe to, but let's see. I resonate, my soul resonates with these things. Upon realizing the alignment of my soul resonating with so much gnosis and information that, to be quite honest, I was always interested in, like what we call magic, and tarot cards and zodiac astrology, zodiacs, and numerology became a new thing for me. And boy, when I tell you, I first of all, I love numbers, I love math, but really studying numerology has really, really helped me gain better perspective, energetically, on what's going on, right? So yeah, that's kind of stuff I'm going to be sharing with you guys as well as we get deeper into our episodes. So, yeah. So just stick with me. Again, make sure to like and subscribe to the podcast. Make sure to follow us on our social media platforms so you can stay up to date with our weekly episodes. Cause y'all, we gonna get into it. We gonna tap into it, and y'all my peers. Y'all know we don't do shit without a light heart. We may be heavy hearted in some things, but for the most part, we're very lighthearted as a generation. We don't really take a lot of stuff that's serious, and we got a lot of shit for that. Coming up, you play too much. Y'all so silly. Y'all play too much. Y'all so silly. But hey, that is what allowed us to move the way that we moved coming up, and now I don't know if none of y'all fucking realize this, but we up next. When the generations that are older than us, they're all getting to that place of retirement, if not already retired. And so who's next up to run the world, y'all? It's going to be Gen X, Xennials, and Millennials combined. We're next up to run this world. That means that we got to start stepping up into who we are. We can't be afraid of who we are. We have to start stepping into our own inner power, our own inner authority. And again, I have some tools and some resources, that be able to help you be able to tap into that stuff with ease. Now, I'm going to be honest. Me going through my spiritual journey, my spiritual expansion journey, that has also, it does bring about challenges, but these challenges are good for you. These challenges force you to remove energy out of your star system, remove or balance out or harmonize energy within you internally, so that you can be more of the being that you came here to be. Really step into that your spiritual power, and really own you, right? Nobody owns you. You own you. And we'll get into it. But yeah, so yeah, your girl, I like I said, I come from a background of the legal field, mostly. did some truck driving with my husband. We did that for about 5 or 6 years. Absolutely, for the most part. Again, there's challenges with everything we do in life. But when we will go back and look at our experience on the road, we really got to see places that a lot of people, just even in your own city and your own family, haven't visited, And so that was big and major for us because we like to travel and we love being together and working together. So this gave us an opportunity to do that. So, but as we fall back, getting back into, you know, why I started the podcast. I started the podcast because I wanted to do something that was going to speak to who I am, what it is that I do, what it is I stand for, what I embody. And so me being able to share and discuss, holistic, healing, holistic practices, resources, ways of showing up for yourself. That's the stuff that I enjoy doing it. And I kind of got, y'all, for real, I think some of my family, I think I done wore them out with all this astrology and numbers, because when I can see it, I instantly go to speak into the energy of what's going on, right? So I said, you know what, let me start speaking and sharing this with others out here in the world, because who knows who needs this information or wants this information. And I'm here. I'm your girl. I got you. And I got a 5 team rocking with me. We got you. Okay. And I'm here to tell you, you too have a 5 spiritual team rocking with you. You're good. You're good. So to my fellow Gen X, Xennials, Millennials, I went out there looking for pages and stuff. I ain't know we was this loud, y'all. We've been so quiet for years that people literally had written us, they had wrote us out the books. They had stopped even entertaining us. They had stopped thinking about us. They had stopped putting us in the placements to move this story forward. But we here. We here and we showing up and we stepping up because we came here to do something. And damn it, we gonna do it. We gonna do it hell or high water. And we gonna be here to support each other while we're doing it. Okay? No needing, no division, no separation, no hate, none of that shit. We don't subscribe to that. We're all it. I'ma say it, y'all. But we all in this together. We all in this together. Why? Because my piece of the puzzle may go with your piece of the puzzle, and you all the way over in Africa. But we have 2 pieces that connect together, right? That'll be able to help raise and push this story forward for everyone, because this is about bringing service to the planet and bringing service to ourselves and to each other so that we can help be more of service for each other instead of all this separation and division shit. There's one thing, our generation, for the most part, we ain't never subscribed to that kind of shit. We like helping people. We love helping people. We get an enjoyment out of that. We don't get nothing from, tearing each other down. Not This isn't to say that we don't have that kind of wretched ass shit in our, within our grouping of peers. But for the most part, we've always been the really compassionate, loving, caring, from an unconditional space generation. And this isn't to speak against any other generations. I want to be very clear. If I do have some of my elders in here, I want you guys to know this has nothing against you guys and what your story is. We're focusing on our story, but I want you guys to know that everything that you did allowed us to put things into perspective for our story. So we're very grateful for the things that you did or didn't do. Okay, we're not standing in any judgment towards anybody about that. We're moving forward in knowing that everything has a lesson here, right? Okay, and so for the generations behind us, we also understand that you guys have gnosis and wisdom to help us move forward. We don't know every damn thing, and we don't project like we know everything, but we know a lot. And we move in our knowing, okay? So the generations behind us, no, we ain't shitting on y'all either. We here to help each other. So what y'all can provide and what we can provide, let's do that in combination with each other. Why? So that we can be more of a service to each other. you know. So I wanted to make sure I bring that in. But for the most part, I wanted to create a pie. When I was looking for my target audience, y'all, like I've been really fiddling around with my naturally holistic vibes, for short, NHV. I've been fiddling around since, what's this, 2024, so since 2022, towards the end of 2022, trying to figure out, okay, what is naturally holistic vibes going to be. And it started out as a blog site. I don't like writing, y'all. I mean, I like to write in my free time and journal, but not for no shit like this. I'm a talker. Okay, so fast forward to now, and that's why I'm here, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to chat this shit up and really discuss and open up the floodgates and the floors to say, hey, what can we do to change and make things better? And what do we need to eliminate, remove out of our lives and out of our, star systems? What is it that we can do to provide service to each other? And so that's the reason why this podcast was created, because I realized one day, I missed this one part, y'all. I realized one day I was listening to Instagram post, and I won't say who she is right now until we get further down the road, because I don't really want to name drop unless I get permission to say, hey, this is what we're doing, right? Or anyway, but right now I just want to focus on this part. But I was listening to this Instagram post with this lady. She's Gen X. She's top of Gen X. And she's going through all this shit that we did as children and all of these things that we did as teenagers and how we showed up. And I'm like, damn. And here's the thing. She's a completely different culture than me. And when I saw that and I heard how similar our story was, how similar our stories are, we're not even in the same culture. We're not even in the, we're both Gen X, but she's top, I'm bottom. But here it was that we still had similar narratives. Then a couple days after that, go on YouTube, and I don't know what made this come up, y'all, in my feed. But me and my husband, we sitting there, and I don't know what made him click on this shit either. I'm glad he did. But we're listening to all of these different shorts, and it's Gen X. And it's this one kid that, I guess he's the one kicked this shit off on while we're all coming out now being very loud. But he goes, what happened to who let Gen X off the hook? What happened to Gen X? Those guys just blah, 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 blah. And I'm sitting there, me and my husband like, wait, the fuck? We ain't gone nowhere. We here. Gen X is here. We ain't never been nowhere. We just been quiet. We know what we know. And when others around us don't comprehend that knowing, we chill until you get it. We're not the ones to beat you over the head with the gnosis and force you to accept a storyline or something that doesn't resonate with your soul. We gonna tell you and keep it the fuck moving, for real. But I did see something that was common. It was one common phrase that every last one of us, y'all, was saying, and that's fuck around and find out. So I said, whoa, what's going on here? I know we not just some angry ass people, and it's not that we angry. We're fed up with a lot of bullshit. And so, yeah, we about to get loud, y'all. We about to get loud because there's things that need to change in this world, and it doesn't make sense for us to continue with the narrative that was put in place prior to us coming here that don't align with what we're doing. So guess what we finna do? Change this shit up. That's what we came to do. X marks the spot. So, but we'll get into all of that stuff, deeper as the podcast continues. But yeah, so yeah, I want at this moment, I'm listening to these shorts and I go, there it is. There's my target audience. So when I say I'm very grateful to have found my space, to have found my voice, found my lane, and hopefully you guys find value in the information that I present and that I bring forth. I do plan on having speakers, guest speakers, on the platform. There will be experts in their field and what they're doing. So, again, please make sure that you're following us, you're subscribed to us. We're at Naturally Holistic Vibes across all social media platforms. Y'all got me. Naturally Holistic Vibes across all platforms. I do have a NHV podcast page on Instagram as well. So make sure that you check that out as well. But yeah, so I wanted to drop this little intro just so you guys kind of get an idea of who I am and what we're going to be bringing to the table, what we're going to be discussing, some of the things that we're going to tap into. Like I said, I'm bottom Gen X. I'm 1979, so I'm like technically, and my husband and I just learned this, y'all. We learned that the bottom Gen X are considered exennials. I didn't even know that was a damn thing. But I said, okay, I can see how that's the case, because why? We kind of align with, I'm talking about in the way we move, y'all. We kind of align with Gen X and millennials. It's why we can understand and move fluidly with both sides of the coins, right? Because probably most of us Gen X have millennial siblings. And so, yeah, you're living with your siblings. You're forced, not in a bad way, but you're forced to work with another generation behind you to bridge any differences, right? That's what we're here doing. So, and all of my siblings, no bullshit, are millennials. I think my baby sister, she might be Gen Z, 1993. But for the most part, everybody else is Gen X. Everybody else is Gen X and Xennial. And so, yeah. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and gonna end this one here. We'll pick up on some more of our we're gonna pick up blah 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 blah. Y'all hear me out here. We're gonna finish up on tapping into the rest of this information and this gnosis. Like I said, check us out weekly. I'm gonna be posting weekly episodes. Let's get into it and make sure to tune in. We might have some live episodes coming up. It's just really going to depend on energetically what's going on and what's in the ethers and what I'm guided to do. But yeah, right here, right now, this is my space. This is what I'm doing. And hopefully you guys find value in it and you enjoy the journey with me. You know what I'm saying? Let's do this together. I'm about doing this with laughter and a light heart. The goal here is to, at the end of the day, to leave here with a light heart. We are to remove all the weight off of our hearts, so that we can enter the quote unquote kingdom of heaven. You can't enter the kingdom of heaven with a heavy heart. And laughter is one of those ways you can lighten that heart. And so, y'all know we don't really, for the most part, we don't really take shit that serious. So let's bring in that laughter, that childlike energy, and that playfulness, and we'll integrate that into healing and addressing some of our trauma wounds, some of our health issues, some of our mental issues, mental and emotional issues. We're going to tap into those things as we dig deeper into the podcast. So again, make sure you stay tuned and make sure you lock me in. Make sure you're subscribed and you're following us, especially on Spotify. Right now, we're only broadcasting on Spotify and Spotify for podcasters. As I'm able to launch the podcast and other platforms, I will be letting you guys know. Then this way, we're able to reach everybody. So yeah, that's my intro, you guys. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to me. You can email me at naturallyholisticvibes@gmail.com. I do respond to my emails. Give me anywhere between 24 to 48 hours to respond to you. But yeah, this is just the beginning. This one's going to be kind of short again because it's an intro. I do, like I said, we're going to have weekly episodes. And I'm planning to drop those episodes either every Wednesday or every Saturday. I haven't decided yet. It'll probably be on Saturdays. I'm not sure. But yeah. Make sure to check us out. So I look forward to rocking with you guys. I look forward to you guys rocking with me. Make sure you share with your friends and your family. Just because it's tailored to Gen X, Xennial, Millennials doesn't mean that everyone can't benefit from the gnosis and information that we will be presenting on here. So hope to see you guys rocking with me on the next episode. It's been love and it's been real. Peace.